of Rule of Waves 3 as we continue our nautical adventures with the Spanish Empire. And we are, of course, embroiled in a little bit of a to-do with the fledgling German Empire. Still a fairly weak nation at this stage in the game, so probably a good time for us to pick a fight with them. We are currently potentially sending a force against our coast. We'll see if they actually turn up. Obviously, in the last episode, we did sink one of their lovely ironclads, and they don't have that many. So we do our force here of our kind of battle line of 4 ironclads, and then we've got a few heavy cruisers, bombing around our armoured cruisers, one should say. I'm just going to refer to them as heavy cruisers out, because in my head, CA becomes a heavy cruiser when I talk. But yes, they're technically armoured cruisers at this stage in proceedings. I think this one's going to be a bit of a damp squid, so tell you what I'm going to do is right off the bat, I'm going to fire a cut-in. When we make contact with enemy, I'll bring you back for a quick check-in, and then we'll stay if they stick around and fight. Well, otherwise, we'll just jump to the end if they decide to turn tail and run like the cowardly Germans they are. So, without anything else, I'll see you in a minute. So, there we have it. We didn't even get sight of the Germans. As suspected, a bit of a damp squib. They did come with a reasonable cruiser force, and they did, I think they sank one merchant which we stumbled across. But, all in all, not very much going on there. And in fact, if we jump, we can see, oh, actually, they ended up quite close to my ports. Interesting. Used to the 4th flagships. Oh, that's there. Okay, that's where they retreated. We did come. We were kind of cruising around this area. They came in and cut left. Fine. Right, let's jump out. A marginal victory, which doesn't quite put us in the lead. The Real Familia has finished her working up. Always pleasurable to get another ironclad on the go. And there is a German raider sinking our ships, something we'll have to keep an eye upon. Okay, but now my battle is finished, I can get to renaming some of our officers. So we've had a few requests. So why don't I give our average, our top performers. Oh, we've got an above average. Okay, I'll give our top performers a couple of officers, and we'll jump back when I've got this updated. There we have it. Our first 2, I was going to say conscripts, but volunteers. Hopefully, first 2 of minutes. We have Blaise Inez, who's commanding the Velasco, and we have Marquez Choltoya, commanding the Real Familia. So, yeah, anyone else interested? As I said, let us know. We can always add them as we go. Perfect. Okay, we're currently at war. We are now blockading Germany. Which you can tell by the big B, for anyone unfamiliar with the map. With the system. And then if we go to the details screen, it should handily tell us that the Spanish strength is 85, the German strength is 68, and therefore we are more than 110% and over a magic 72, and therefore we are blockading Germany, which will bring unrest and cause them to generally have a bad time. Now, the other thing we're doing at the minute is building our corvettes, which I think, yeah, still a long way away, to try and alleviate some of the pressure from our trade protection in the Caribbean. But I really wanted to free up just anything that we could potentially send to the South Pacific. You would do. The Galicia, currently in Northern Europe. But, I mean, we're kind of weighing in heavily on just on a heavy fleet. So we could do send our light cruiser all the way out to Southeast Asia here, or South Pacific Union, Southeast Asia there, and set ourselves up for invading the Bismarck Archipelago. What a great place to take off Germany, as they have no ships out here. I believe, nope, none, and it's within this very early invasion range. So let us do that, because of course any land that you take during a war doesn't count towards your peace deal at the end, which is nice to see. Let's send you out to, no, not Southeast Asia, South Pacific. Off you go. Beautiful. The other thing we will want to do, and we could potentially do it now because our monthly balance is pretty healthy, and I would like to actually design some warships at some point, and potentially a new class of heavy cruiser might be the first thing we replace, because these things are small and slow. As is our main fleet, but, you know, one step at a time. But yeah, sorry, before I get ahead of myself, is get some of these trade protection corvettes that we talked about, 'cause they're actually on the go, so we have them for future wars. So let's go quickly. This is not going to be particularly special or interesting, and these ones are what we want in terms of the very light non-colonial service. Let's give me, say, 600 tons. Yeah, and I just want you to bomb around the place and protect my fleets. Let's get rid of that. Let's put your caliber down to 5's probably fine. You don't really need any secondaries. What else have you got on you? I would like minesweeper gear. Don't worry about the graphics. You don't need armor. Okay, perfect. Should be nice and cheap, and we probably don't need that many of them at this stage, and we'll probably replace these as time goes by, because these are very old. Okay, happy. Overgunned. Okay. Perfect. 1 4-inch pop gun to scare fishies away from our merchant fleet. Save and finish. Okay, 1 month, done. And we'll get ourselves some trade protection corvettes to add to our fleet. Alright, we now have another cruiser action. Again, this is not in a good area for us, a lot far away from our ports. I'm going to accept it, but if we come in and we just have our 3 heavy cruisers, I'm probably just going to run away. Well, let's find out. Ooh, that's fun though. We get some Italian ships to control. The Barry here, which should have a lovely green deck, just in case you wondered who was in control of that. Okay, we do indeed just have our 2. Oh, that's interesting. The objectives aren't loading up properly. Okay. I'm not interested. We're just going to be outgunned here. You on support, my Italian friend. You're independent. No, do not be independent. Do be core. I'll leave you AI control, but please come and rejoin. Reattach yourself to my fleet. I think we're just going to head maybe to Norway. And we'll recruise ourselves from this agent. Oh, I don't have control? I do have control. There we go. Where are you going, Italy? How on earth have we had intelligence report? Who's sending that in? Oh, right, okay, I'll bite. Since my ally is determined to throw away some victory points by getting himself killed if I don't support him. Right, we'll kick up the game speed. We'll see what, if anything, we bump into. The answer is not a lot. Oh, we do have another vessel out here, though. I guess that's where our reports came from. So we don't want to abandon him entirely. So this is a supporting force. If you look under OOB, Spain Support Force. So even on captain's mode, I do not have control over the Emperador Carlos V. And so there is a danger. If you just leave them be, then they will get themselves murdered. So let's hang about with him. Alright, I'm going to go and put a cut in here. If I run into trouble, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we're just going to be babysitting until this time runs out. Oh, never mind. So the Germans just run away from me. They did just run away from me. I actually had more ships than they do. I shouldn't have run so scared. Okay. Enemy victory. Fiddlesticks. The battleship Mars. 4 10-inch guns. It's starting to look a little bit more modern. Oh, there is a bunch of raiders going on. Okay. But we're like 210 VP for blockading the enemy, which should at least start pushing our nose in front. Indeed, it does. I'd like to get a much healthier lead. Right, let's go to the build screen. I probably want... We technically only need 3. We could get some losses. Let's go say half a dozen will be fine. Okay, cool. We're still building up a bit of a war chest for when we actually want to build some military ships, but that'll do us for just now. Ah, Galicia, where have you got yourself to? You will be... okay. A couple more turns, I think, before you get to where you need to go. Oh, this is an unexpected battle, so we can't decline it. It is near our coast, which is good. Means if we do take a few hits, we can run away. And we have got our heavy cruisers, armor cruisers with their 7-inch guns. Not a caliber I tend to use, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so we should probably see them straight away, he says confidently. There we go. As is the case in these unexpected battles. So our squad max is 18. Well, let's kick up to squad max -2. Fairly standard. In fact, even button for it now. Max -2. Fantastic button. If you go higher than max -2, you get negative modifiers to hit due to the vibrations going through your ship. Let's head off a little bit south, just in case we need to drastically run away from these pesky Germans. Looks like we've got 3 heavy cruisers. I'm going to guess this is 3 heavy cruisers and probably 1 light. Now, I don't actually know the caliber of a German heavy cruisers at the minute. I'm quite happy to keep running south. We think it's 4 heavy cruisers, okay, of the Freya class. Do I know about the Freya class? I do. 4, well, it is much better than mine. 4 8-inch guns, almost 7,000 tons, 4-inch belt. Considering we are rocking a pair of 7-inch guns. We do have a 4-inch belt, but we are much lighter. These are terrible heavy cruisers. So we're probably just going to actually squad max it and run south, I think. Try and get out of here. No one started. Fire has started. It did turn out to be 3 heavy cruisers and 1 light. So the fact that gunnery is terrible will be in our favour here. If we get too close, we could always threaten them with some torpedoes. We got hit by one of their medium guns. It's not so good. If they slow us down, that could be problematic. Let's turn in towards. Cross their T. Clearly going to win. Engine room hits there. That's the thing we want to avoid. We might see if we can't scare them off with a little bit of a torpedo threat. And then we'll run south. Not looking good for our light ships. Okay, now we'll try and hopefully open a bit of a gap. Okay. What's our speed? Still trying to get with the 18. How far from the coast are we? Ooh, too far. Okay, lots of misses though. This is good for us. Freya and the Imperador are trading hits. Well, their shells are bigger than mine. Again, let's try a cut down to see if they want to come within torpedo range, and they do. Okay, fire torpedoes, please. Again, I'll quite happily have the rule that I can fire from my flag formation manually. Everything else is a no. Fire torpedoes. Lead ship, please. Really? You're out of arc? That'll do. Let's just try and get something in the water. I like the high. Where'd the high go? Yeah, that seems good. We'll fire that in their general direction. Emperor Carlos V. Sure. Torpedoes away. Looks like lots of misses. Do we have any more? I neglect to see how many torpedoes these all had. You've only got 1 port and starboard. I think these guys had 2. They did. Oh. It's interesting, but I'll take it. Anything we'll do right now. We just need to get them to really trying to frighten them away. No good there. Okay. Oh my word. That's a little bit close, Freya. Not sure that's really what we're aiming for. Yeah, let's not do that. See if the... Ooh! Okay, so apparently this goes down as us ramming them. How bad is it? Oh, Mr. De La Camera, what have you done? We're okay, actually. A little bit of flooding. Structure's not terrible. The damage is okay. The fact we're stopped might be problematic. But it's, I mean, realistically, would be too close to actually use a torpedo. But I wonder if it works. No, it does not. Which is just as well. Oh, there's the problem of having Clyde stop. She just emptied her broadside into us. This is incredibly painful. And you potentially, say, hit her on the way out before Freya gets up any kind of head of steam. No, you're just turning your rear end towards her. Run, Emperador. Okay. How bad is it? Flooding 37 is not terrible. What's the flotation we've got left? 3,000. So yeah, got a reasonable amount of time. We might be able to make it. Port still seems a long way away. Especially with the speed you're going. I think the Emperador is done for. So now the question is, do we want to send these two back in an attempt that we hit something with a torpedo? Or do we accept defeat? The Emperador turns and does a final hurrah, allowing the Cristobal and the Pedro de Aragon to continue, which that's where we're going to lean, I think. Nothing else that makes a great story. Nothing else for it. The captain, De La Camera, decides to sacrifice his own ship to save the rest of his fleet. Well, not his fleet, but his friendly forces. Vowing to try and take down as many as he can. What do you have left? Your starboard and your... Oh, it's actually in your aft. Okay. Oh, you launched of your own accord. Nicely done. And you even hit her. Oh, there's going to be some posthumous medals here. Oh, skip it. Oh, apparently we collided again. There you go. Let's take a torp in her from your bum. Or not. I don't know if we can turn quickly enough. Oh, there we go, to get our starboard one. This is really our last hurrah here. Oh no, you've expended them all. There is no last hurrah. We are done. Oh, you sent it off your own on record. Nicely done. Captain doing a good job there. Doesn't rely on my micromanagement. They've got their rudder stuck. Now I'm like, oh, maybe I should bring these guys back. There's only a couple of them. Alright, let's do it. Let's see if we can save our glorious captain here. I am somewhat doubtful. Oh, we might be able to. Alright, show me what's your flotation damage. So, grand speed of 5 knots. Oh, I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh, it saddens me so much. From heroic sacrifice to a valiant and glorious torpedo strike. To ultimately succumbing to flooding. Parado, Carlos V, you are gone too soon. Okay. Well, I think on this we shall disengage. Interesting. I wonder if we've got that German heavy cruiser. Okay. We did! Spanish victory! Huzzah! De la Camera, yeah, you done ourselves proud there. Excellent. And we even got heavy damage. Sure, I'm somewhat surprised by that. So we can have a look here at the Prince Adalbert. And we definitely sunk a much better ship than we lost. Oh. You weren't hit by a torpedo. Interesting. Just through gunnery fire. Rammed by enemy. Detaches because of heavy flooding. Wow, so it was actually the ramming seems to have done it for you. Okay. Cool, and then so in that case the Freya didn't actually sink, the one that did take the torpedo. Hang on, I don't remember. I thought we rammed the Freya. Unless they both have said Freya because it's a Freya class. Derp. Okay. Oh, come on, AI. Well, at least see some things don't change in Roller Waves 3. They survived with 13 out of 6,637 flotation left, otherwise it would have sunk. I mean, okay, fine. Cool. So yeah, we could have turned around and probably threatened more, but there's always the risk to overextend in these scenarios, and let's be a little bit sensible. So, minor victory, some more victory points, firmly in the lead. A new ironclad. Army wants more resources to prepare for an offensive that will break through the front. Absolutely not. I don't think we have a front. Only the Navy can win this war. Subdivision damage control, that's okay. Okay, they are causing a little bit of damage. Our unrest has gone up to 3 from these losses. Their unrest is going to be I was going to say it's getting worse, but they're no longer blockaded. Potentially because really just those loss of those couple of ships enough. Yeah. So one CA sunk, 1 CA in the port, and that's dropped us down to 69. So we're really teetering on the edge of being able to blockade, which is why we really need those CAs out from the Mediterranean to come back home. But we're not going to get that. However, what we should be able to get is the Galicia. Will be in the... Wait, you're still not there. Yeah, won't be in South Pacific next turn. You're still on your way to... Right, from the Caribbean into the North American West Coast, presumably? No, because... Don't be silly. There's no Panama Canal. So you're going to go around South America. Oh no, there's Panama Canal. Why would you not use it then? No one's got control of it. Or is it not built yet? Hang on a minute. No, I was correct in my first thought before I started double guessing myself. There is no Panama Canal at this time. 1914. I didn't realize it was quite so late as that. I thought it was closer to the turn of the 19th century. Or 1900s, I should say, sorry. But there you go. Usually what I know. Very little usually. Alright, so this ship's still traversing. So I don't want to start planning the invasion until we're a bit closer. Let's just continue to progress things. Once we get maybe up to maybe 30,000-40,000, we will look to spend that on a ship. Action with light forces unexpected. Okay, this feels like it's not going to be fun. I only have one heavy cruiser. Why would I send a single heavy cruiser on his own raiding off the German coast? Where's the large-scale fleet actions battle generator? Okay. We are going to turn. We're going to go squad max -2. I'm going to look for more ships. No more ships? Singular ship. Interesting. English ship running away. What is it? Faster than me. I'll tell you what it is. Right, okay. This is going to be a dead rubber, so we will just skip to the end. Yeah, well, a single light cruiser. Didn't want to fight. Outran me. Can't complain. To be fair, I didn't want to fight originally anyway. Okay, the Chinese ship, the heavy cruiser Fu Po. That looks better than ones I currently use, so I can't really complain too much about them. Yeah, I really need to start sinking some of these ships. I could put some of these heavy cruisers on trade protection. I mean, I would only leave really my battleships as available for fights, which is interesting. Let's do that. See if we can actually get some, avert some of these raiders, and also get some action with our heavier ships. Coastal raid. Absolutely. Do I have my battle line? I do have my battle line. Okay. Now we can get a bit more fun. Our beautiful ironclads. Sink any 2 ships. Okay, our squad max is probably pretty poor. Yeah, 16. We'll just drop down to 14. I think we will just cruise around at that. Head towards the Helgoland Gap. See what trouble we can get into. Now we know we outsize. We are larger than the German fleet, so we don't have forces of a comparable size to really send against us. So, tell you what I'm going to do though is I'm going to get the torpedoes off. Hold torpedo fire. Hold fire missiles. Haven't got any of those yet. Yeah, hold torpedo fire. I don't want you wasting them against transports. If we come up against actual military ships, then so be it. We'll keep the speed up because we're very slow. Okay, we've sunk a small transport. If you think of the expenditure on fuel and things and armament for these dreadnoughts, sinking one small transport is probably not a success. Alright, in lieu of keeping things entertaining, I will not go anywhere because we found an unidentified ship. Are you a warship? No. Okay, I'm going to keep buzzing around here sinking German ships. If I find any warships, I will come back. Okay, so we've sunk a grand total of 2 transports. Everyone else kind of ran and hid by the coastal battery at Helgoland. But we have found an armoured cruiser. Who is immediately running away from us. That's not fun, come on. Okay, this looks like the larger German force. Including their ironclad? No, it just looks like a cruiser force. So torpedoes are definitely a threat here. Oh no, there's a Brandenburg there, right. Let's slow things down. I absolutely want to sink some of these things. Let us what? Let us cut north. See if we can't start chipping away at some of these cruiser forces. Now we're not super immune to firepower. They do have a reasonable weight, even if it's spread pretty thin. Again, hits are going to be pretty limited. It's not going too near that coastal battery. Okay, we have hit the Brandenburg. I mean, it's an interesting what do I want to prioritize. I probably want to trim down the cruisers, actually. They're the ones that are bothering me the most at the minute. Not many hits coming out. Darkness coming, okay. I'd like to sink something. Any chance we could kill the Veneta? No. Lots of splashes, no real hits, they run away. It'll be another disappointing outing for the Spanish Navy. Okay. On we go. Objective complete, we'll get victory points. It's not nothing, but we're all in this game to sink ships, aren't we? About to run out of time, and there we go, scenario over. Yeah, we barely scratched their military fleets, but we did win because we sunk 2 whole transports. A major victory. Oh, okay. I'll not share too much. The enemy sent out feelers through neutral nations about a negotiated peace. We will not let them off lightly. So if you are tired of war and want to change, then you can obviously take a lighter stance. Either a kind of middle of the road or one that will actually spend prestige more to end the war. But we want to press on. It may not happen. Politicians, mind of their own. Unacceptable. Flounders on unacceptable demands. Good. Gain 212 VP for blockade of enemy. I didn't think we were, but okay. Keep an eye on that. Things seem going okay. Whereabouts in the world are you now, Galicia? Okay, you're just going round the... I forgot what it's called. Tip of South America. Oh, we are blockading them again. Excellent. So I guess our heavy cruisers come out of repairs. We now have 75, just over the limit. And Germany only has 70. Well, according to my maths, 110% would be 77. So clearly this whole blockading thing's not quite working as clear cut as it says it is. Alright, let's keep going onwards and upwards. Oh, here we go. Battleship. This, what? They don't have any battleships. Okay. So our usual division's out and about. In the middle of the North Sea. And I'm probably going to bump into some cruisers. Alright, so minor interruption in the recording flow there. So I actually cut away for a bit. So actually sitting the next day before I got time to come back and get back up to where we are. So indeed we have our battle line led by Verena Donna Isabella II, and we're engaged against the Germans. We're in the pre-dawn now. I just unpaused the game. I'm not expecting really to see anything until the light comes up. And this should hopefully be a good opportunity to... Hello? Inflict a bit of damage, ideally upon their cruiser fleet. But I'll happily sink another battleship if that's what needs to be done. We're not really afraid of a German Navy when we have a battle line out. Torpedoes notwithstanding. So as a first heavy cruiser at the front, that's fair enough. We're going to steam in. Let's go to our usual max -2. I mean, our battleships are particularly scary carrying their... actually, our new ones are not bad. The 12-inch guns. I'd forgotten about that. These are old ones. The old ones are rocking smaller ones. 2 of our new ones. What's the new Mancia? Oh, we're all rocking 12-inch guns. Yeah, okay. Get myself all confuddled. That's what happens when you step away for a few minutes. / 24 hours. You forget who you are and what you're doing. Right, plenty cruisers on the go. Should give us ample opportunities to inflict a bit of pain if they allow us, because let's be honest, they are fast on us. We're going to have to squad max for a little bit if we can't close the distance. Maybe. We can't keep this up for very long. This, yeah, Brandenburg looks like we're closing in on. Let's get us within firing range, and then perhaps we shall slow down again. This is good. Let's go. I don't know how fast the Brandenburg's going. Let's wait till we've actually started opening fire. I wonder if we have information on how the maximum speed. It says it's only going 10 knots. Obviously, the information you get here is a little bit fog of war, and it's rounded to nearest 5, so you're never quite sure how fast they're going. It apparently has a maximum speed of 14 knots. You'd love to see it. I mean, it's a toty little battleship. And this should give us options to sink the blasted thing. Now we're all in range. I'm going to drop down to 14. So it shouldn't be able to run away from us. Let's slow down a little bit. Time. That's a little bit slow. Let's go to fast. And we are firing, we're just not really hitting. Hey, we hit it with our 5-inch guns. And we'll happily kind of chase this guy down. I mean, really what you should be doing is trying to do torpedo runs at me with his light cruisers to kind of protect his battleship and fend me off. Now the Brandenburgs are also forward facing, so we're not actually at threat of being shot here as we pepper this thing. And really our primary game here is to cause enough damage to slow it down. Some engine room hits, etc. Okay, light cruisers kind of getting in the way now, and we're starting to fire them as well. Oh, it looks like the weather might have closed in there a minute. No, it's day. Oh, well, it's October, short daylight hours. So we're going to have to get close to the Brandenburg here. Now, I imagine you have, submerged torpedo mounts as well. Something we'll have to be aware of. Our stokers are getting pretty tired, although we are not going off flank speed. Let's see if we can keep a little bit closer. I think they might escape. We'll see if we can keep them within our very small visual range. Just need enough, just one good hit in the engine room, slow them down. Thankfully the torpedo ranges are also very, very small at the minute. We can kind of get away with this night fighting. Now, for some reason they think it's a destroyer. A type of ship we haven't invented yet and don't know what one is. We are out with torpedo ranger, our torpedo ranger anyway. Right, we've identified Brandenburg class. Looks like it might be slowing down a little bit. We did hit with the 11-inch gun from Commando 7th. I thought we all had 12s. Hang on. Oh, you 12s and 11s for secondaries. Ah, that's right. Of course. I'm not sure we've actually landed any of our 12-inch hits. Again, to be expected, we're at night. We're very early tech. We're pretty bad at our jobs. This should be a nice little victory for us. Actually did take a hit there. Oh, and I'm in engine room as well. Typical. Don't get too close. That looks like torpedo range. Let's not lose our own ship here. This should be perfect. He's got no rear firing guns. We're in behind. In fact, we might even be able to slow down a little bit. Let's form ourselves a bit of a lazy U here. In behind the stricken Brandenburg. Oh! Nice torpedo shot. I don't think it worked. No. I applaud the effort. Always hard to hit just the stern of a ship. I'll just keep snaking behind it. I admire the gumption here and the attempts. We are hitting... we are getting shot a little bit by the Brandenburg. To be fair, I think is its right to attempt to defend itself. Let's see, how on earth did we lose the ship? We've used half our ammo. Oh, this is a bit dodgy. Let's turn away from that. It's a fairly tight turning circle from these things. And we could attempt a torpedo run. Not so much more forward one here because they have... Actually, they've reloaded. So they do have plenty torpedoes. Maybe once we get full confirmation of what this thing is. I'm not done, I'm already in that position. Dead in the war. She's going under. Excellent. Now, we don't necessarily need to go home, although night is long and arduous. And all other ships theoretically can run away from us. Okay, a few ships, a few shots, and we passed, and that'll do. Let us just head out. One battleship to be good. I think that's going to be a pretty positive outcome. Huzzah. Light damage, we sunk one. Everything we ever hoped for, really. So let's have a quick look at the Brandenburg. So she was hit 14 times by heavy shells, 10 by mediums. And we'd land a few 12-inch hits in the end. Just sunk through progressive flooding. So but we have a look at our hit percentage. The Brandenburg was up at 14%, which is phenomenal, only fired 7 times. We are 2%-ish, 2.5. That's not, I mean, the range was incredibly close, but still, that's not terrible for this era. Okay, excellent. Another minor victory. We've now got a firm lead in terms of VPs. We're probably not blockading because we don't have enough weight behind it. We'll be blockading from this turn now. Let's have a quick look where our Galicia is. Where are you now? You're on your way. You're heading to the South Pacific, so that's the next one. So I'm going to actually start preparing the invasion now. See if we can't nab the Bismarck archipelago. There we go. And because I am on the next day, I have also a few more requests to be officers. So let me do a quick bit of magic and we can add a few more people to our officer corps. Okay, so we have, by power of magic, 3 new captains joined our adventures. We've got Aventurado, who's currently on the Galicia, roaming around the South Pacific. We've got the Cerveza on the Pedro de Aragon. Preference there for a raiding cruiser. Not that I have any yet, but I'll have you down as a cruiser captain. And then we have Patatas on the Argonauta. So welcome aboard. And interesting enough, because I had to quit and reload the game when doing this, it now registers Germany as being blockaded. So that's good. Thought it should be there for numbers, and indeed that is the case. Also to highlight, and I think it's a new feature of this game, is this copy game button, which I have been using. So every time before I go in and tweak the save file, not that it's particularly different, it's just a text file, but I do make a copy. So you can click copy game and you just put it into one of the other save slots. And one advantage this also has, which you couldn't really do before without going in and manually moving files around, you get to the 30s, 40s or whatever, and you could decide to try and take your navy into 2 very different directions, and so you can kind of copy your game and have that as a save point. So a funky little feature. Okay, we are rapidly closing in on time, but I did want to actually design a ship because I feel like we've got pretty far on, episode 3, and we haven't actually really designed anything beyond a couple of corvettes. And I think the first thing we are lacking, well, I mean, to be honest, our battle lines questionable, but it'll do. Is probably kind of a heavy cruiser. I think that's the next one I want to step up. Yeah. to get maybe something more, yeah, kind of maybe 8,000 ton-ish. We'll have to see what we can do. Oh, speaking of 8,000 tons, we should absolutely continue to expand our docks. We've only got about 1,000 monthly balance. It's not great. Do we have anything ending soon? Well, that'll free up about another 1,000. That should be okay. So let's go in and let's design ourselves a new armored cruiser. We get to see what our current kind of speed of things are when we do this. We'll have to try and be fairly quickish about it. Isn't she pretty looking? They're 8-inch caliber -1 guns. I think, I forgot to check before, and that's probably the best we've got, to be honest. Yeah. So, and quality is hugely important on their ability to penetrate. Like these 9-inch -2 guns are going to be absolute garbage. In fact, you can show that if we go into design ship and we look at our armor cruiser. If we look at the gun data, so they're penetrating, yeah, reasonable, kind of 10 inches at 2,000 yards, 12 inches of armor at 1,000 yards. If we go up to the 9-inch, they're actually penetrating less. So even though it's that bigger caliber, that quality debuff is significant. Secondaries probably just dropped down to 4 inches. It is a quality 0 as well. So again, a better quality of gun. And so that 21 knots is not terrible. We'll maybe see if we can sneak out a 22, which would be 4 knot increase in our current heavy cruiser line, or armor cruiser line, which would be quite something. And we could potentially say, well, actually, let's. I don't want to prioritize speed. Normal. We could say prioritize something like, we'll go for speed rather than armor on these kind of nippy cruisers rather than armored cruisers. Yeah, I think that's probably what I want. I would like 2-inch decks, so you don't get. If your deck's less than 2 inches, then you can get damage from like splinter when you take deck hits, even if it penetrate. We can maybe bring the turrets down a little bit. Oh, turrets and turret top, yeah. I don't know. This may be a stretch. We might have to drop the speed down a little bit, or we could lose guns. Yeah, actually, yeah, we maybe don't need these midship wing positions. Let's take them off. Let's just have a kind of turret forward and aft, and then a reasonable number of secondary guns, albeit they're casemates, which is not quite as good. We're definitely going to want more ammo. We're definitely going to want to find some weight from somewhere. All right, I'm going to go. I will tweak with this, and I'll come back when I've got something that works. Okay, I think I've finessed this somewhere. I'm relatively happy. I did have to drop down 1 knot from 22 to 21. I mean, that was costing us 450 tons for that 1 knot, which was just too much. The cost from 20 to 20 is only 300. 21, 22 is almost 450, so it's a very expensive knot to reach for. I did leave it on, ended up going back to speed again just to save a little bit of weight on the engine. It means we're more liable for breakdowns, but it's maybe not the end of the world. These aren't going to be the mainstay of our fleet. I mean, they are pretty lightly armoured as far as armoured cruisers goes. Kind of 3-inch belt with a little bit of a belt extension. So they're not horrendous, but they're not going to stand up against reasonable caliber guns. If you look at our own gun data, we don't have any immunity. So you come up against a similarly sized 8-inch heavy cruisers, and they would punching a hole in you. But so these are more kind of probably light cruiser / destroyer corvette hunters. I'd say destroyers don't exist yet. But I did want to have something which had a bit more speed, but could take on. So good firepower, not great defense, but good speed. If you generally it's the 3, it's firepower, defense, speed. Pick the kind of 2 you're going for. So that's the 2 we're going for here. I did bump up the rounds per gun. I also put on some torpedoes because I think it's still valuable on our armor cruisers in this day and age. And yeah, I think that's one we're going to lock in. Have I caused any problems? I would do a slight rate of fire penalty because we don't have the tech for better elevation gear and things for smaller calibers in our turrets, but c'est la vie. Okay, let us lock that in. I'll take in number of months. 3 months costs us 2 whole million. Emperado Carlos V. Sure. Awesome. One thing I did, in fact, I'm really pleased with that, because one thing I wanted to show on the officer page, and I forgot, was the fate of De la Camara, who did actually go down with his vessel, the Emperor Carlos V, and what, I think it's fitting that we rename a new class after his heroic efforts in that tussle with the Germans. Awesome. Okay, right, that is time, so let's leave things there. I think we're in a pretty good place. We're winning this war with Germany. Hopefully we'll be able to nab the Bismarck archipelago, and we'll take whatever that little spit is in the peace deal, the Marshall Islands, and we could even consider maybe expanding into bits of Africa as we look to rebuild the Spanish colonial empire. Yeah, excellent. Anyway, as ever, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Leave your thoughts, etc. down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheerio!